Imagine finding a single penny worth more than a luxury home. It sounds impossible. After all, most pennies end up forgotten in jars, tucked inside old drawers, or lost between couch cushions. Yet one tiny coin from 1943 has shocked collectors for decades and turned ordinary pocket change into a life-changing discovery. The coin is known as the 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny, and its story is one of the most fascinating treasure hunts in American history. What makes this story so exciting is that many people never even knew such a coin existed. For years, Americans handled millions of pennies without giving them a second thought. Some were tossed into coffee cans. Others were passed down through generations in old family collections. And somewhere along the way, a handful of incredibly rare coins slipped quietly into the world, hiding in plain sight. If you've ever inherited a collection from a parent or grandparent, or if you have a box of old coins sitting in a closet, this story may feel surprisingly personal. Because the truth is, some of the most valuable treasures are not buried underground. They're sitting unnoticed in homes across America, waiting for someone to recognize what they really are. To understand why the 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny is so special, we need to travel back to one of the most important moments in American history. The year was 1943. The United States was deeply involved in World War II. Copper was needed for military equipment, ammunition, and communication systems. Because of this demand, the U.S. Mint stopped producing regular bronze pennies and switched to steel coated with zinc. These steel pennies look completely different from the familiar copper-colored coins Americans were used to seeing. Millions of them entered circulation that year. Most people assumed every 1943 penny was made from steel. And for the most part, they were right. But something unexpected happened. Somehow, a tiny number of bronze coin blanks from the previous year remained inside the minting equipment. When production began, those leftover bronze blanks were accidentally struck with 1943 dies. The result was one of the most famous minting mistakes in American coin history. Several bronze 1943 pennies were produced at different mints, but the rarest of them all came from the Denver Mint. That is where the legendary 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny was born. At first glance, it does not look extraordinary. In fact, that is part of the mystery. It looks like a normal copper penny. Many people could easily overlook it. But collectors know that beneath its simple appearance lies a coin that has captured attention for generations. As word spread about these rare bronze pennies, stories began emerging from across the country. People searched through old piggy banks. Families examined inherited collections. Coin dealers inspected thousands of pennies hoping to uncover one of the elusive treasures. Most searches ended in disappointment, but a few did not. Over the years, authenticated examples of the 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny have become legendary within the coin collecting community. Their extreme rarity transformed them from simple mistakes into national treasures. Every confirmed example became a major event, and that is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Many rare coins are valuable because they are old. Others are valuable because they have beautiful designs. The 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny is different. Its value comes from a perfect combination of history, rarity, and mystery. It was never supposed to exist. Collectors are often willing to pay astonishing amounts for items that represent a unique moment in history. This coin checks every box. It connects directly to World War II, one of the most significant periods in American history. It represents a rare minting error, and it exists in numbers so small that finding one feels almost impossible. Yet impossible discoveries have happened before. Imagine opening a dusty box that has not been touched in decades. Inside are old photographs, forgotten keepsakes, and a handful of coins. Most people would glance at the pennies and move on. But what if one of them carried the date 1943 and a small D mint mark beneath the year? What if it appeared bronze instead of steel? That possibility alone has fueled decades of treasure hunting. Here is where many people get surprised. Not every 1943 penny is valuable. In fact, Most are common steel cents worth modest amounts. The challenge is knowing the difference. The genuine bronze versions are incredibly rare, and authentication is critical. Countless hopeful discoveries have turned out to be ordinary coins, altered coins, or misunderstandings. But every now and then, a real one appears. And when it does, the coin world pays attention. Auction results over the years have demonstrated just how intense collector demand can become. High-quality examples of rare 1943 bronze pennies have sold for extraordinary amounts. In some cases, values have reached hundreds of thousands of dollars. The rare Denver issue stands among the most coveted of them all. That kind of value naturally creates excitement. But money is only part of the story. The real fascination comes from the idea that such a remarkable object could spend years hidden among ordinary coins. Unlike famous paintings locked away in museums, a rare penny can blend into everyday life. It can sit unnoticed for decades. It can pass from one person to another without anyone realizing its significance. That possibility keeps collectors searching. Even experienced experts continue examining old collections because history has shown that important discoveries can happen when least expected. Some of the greatest coin finds began with nothing more than curiosity and a closer look. And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson behind the 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny. It reminds us that extraordinary things sometimes hide inside ordinary places. It reminds us that history is not always found in textbooks or museums. Sometimes it is found in a small coin that spent years waiting to be noticed. The next time you come across an old jar of pennies, a family collection, or a forgotten box tucked away in storage, take a closer look. You may not find a six-figure rarity. Most people never will. But then again, someone eventually finds every great discovery. And before that moment happens, the coin is simply sitting there, overlooked for decades, hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize what everyone else missed. That is why the legend of the 1943 D bronze Lincoln penny continues to captivate collectors today. It is more than a rare coin. It is a symbol of possibility, a reminder that remarkable treasures can still be out there. And perhaps, right now, one of them is closer than anyone realizes.